Welcome to just some guy's random review, fresh out of the theatre, same day. Well, I'm not fresh out of the theatre, am I? I mean, I'm back here now in my hotel room here at the Home Office in an area of Bangkok, Thailand. And this review is a review of The Mandalorian and Grogu. And I enjoyed it. And that is one, I think, general response, I think, that this movie aims to achieve is that. So that it is just a popcorn movie. It is just a popcorn movie. You know, it's just a movie you can go to watch a popcorn, eat popcorn, have a good time. And that's what those Mandalorian episodes, pretty much are. But of course, it appears as if Disney are pivoting away from putting new and key content on their streaming services because their streaming services aren't profitable, are not making any money. So, in fact, by them putting this basically packaged season 4 of The Mandalorian into cinemas as a movie package, which it has, they're kind of signaling that we're desperate. We're not making any money. We have to put these things now back into cinema. We should have been doing this all along, maybe. No, in fact, because streaming was king, and that was the mentality. And even Disney, in its infinite wisdom, fell for it. And in fact, it signals, I think, also Disney now really shifting to bottom of the barrel. They have to use the Star Wars brand. They have to use one of their more successful in recent years. It's been a couple of years, and everybody rags on season 3 of The Mandalorian. I don't remember it much, except it didn't have much to do with The Mandalorian, if I recall. So, yeah, but look, the fact that they put it all now onto the big screen, that's just all they've done. I think now one of my disappointments is that there was no surprise, no great cameo, there was no twist, there was no hook, there was nothing at the end. You didn't come out going, I'm looking forward to the next one. Although I would say too, this movie kind of holds back on all of that, as if they are saving these characters for bigger things down the road. Now, it's not a perfect movie, but it is, and if you have been reading and listening online, those people saying that it's basically the next season repurposed, repackaged into a film, that is absolutely true and correct. I would agree with those assessments. But it doesn't mean that, like I said, you're not going to go in there and have a good time. It's good fun. Watch the movie. It's good. It's cool at times. But also at times, there are some definite flat moments in this film where it's going nowhere. It peaks in odd places, and by the time you've kind of moved on, you kind of realize, I am watching a couple of sewn together episodes of what would have been a season, the next season, whatever. The action is... Whoa. Mandalorian hits. So that pesky Mandalorian got in the way and sabotaged, or was it one of those Babu fricks? And now I shall talk a little on some of the things that I found were fun and good. I saw it in IMAX laser 3D, and hadn't intentionally wanted to, but it was the only showing of the movie at the time of day I was available to go and see it. And the price was rather high, even for here in the great kingdom of Thailand. And at first I was a bit skeptical, but I have to say it probably made the movie fantastic. The 3D was fantastic. Like seeing starships, spaceships fly in the Star Wars universe in 3D was great. And the sound was top notch. Like it was just like, wow, crisp, clear, bang, rumbly, sharp snaps and bangs as ships moved in and out of hyperspace. The 3D, I think, was fabulous in effect inside the cockpit. And it was almost like some of those shots were definitely made for the large screen and the IMAX, because you sat in the cockpit with whichever character, mostly Mando and Grogu at times, and you were looking out in the cockpit as if you were in the third person behind their shoulder looking out, because the 3D made it feel that way. I don't know if I would have caught that had I just seen the 2D edition, which eventually from now on I'll see. And usually I don't really like 3D, but I did enjoy it. And it was good. It was good. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it, and also the size of the screen. But then I was watching it and I realized this is how movies are supposed to be. In fact, the IMAX section of this cinema, which was excellent, and I have to say that cinemas in Thailand are so superior to anything I have experienced in Australia and the United States. Like, it is a cut above, and people behave well for the most part. And the IMAX section was above the rest of the cinema. Like, you had to go to a special part of the, I think I've got some vision somewhere. It was great. It was great. And so I enjoyed all of that. Sound was excellent. I enjoyed the Babu Fricks. Okay. So anyway, we've got the first half, which is the Mandalorian story. And I noticed, in fact, a lack of Grogu's participation in that first third or half of the movie with his participation, because a big chunk of the movie, you could almost call it Grogu's first adventure. And Grogu goes on an adventure. And it sort of becomes a bit Mandalorian-ish for a time and leads a little party away to try and get him back. And that was all good. A bit slow and patchy at times. Definitely felt like a kid's movie for the second half, because I really enjoyed the action and the violence of the first half. Like, it almost felt like, oh, this is going to cross the line here a little bit. And the sound for all the shooting and all the action sequences, certainly in the cinema that I saw it in, was spectacular. Like, wow. And then again, I thought to myself, this is how movies should be. Like, with good quality sound. I must tell you, having just paid economy prices and been down inside the economy side of the cinema these recent years, that it is a step down in size, in sound quality, in a lot of things. Like, having an IMAX experience today with the laser sound and with the 3D laid on top of that, and very plush cinema experience, it's like, I don't want to go back down with the plebs again. But because I was a bit reluctant. There was a 1 o'clock, I think, in 2D, but it had Atmos, which I would have been happy with, but I didn't want to wait another hour. Come on, this is going to be long as it is. This is what I would call a post-Star Wars movie. Like, you could almost be forgiven that this was not a Star Wars movie. In fact, the only time I really got reminded, I mean, yes, it is obviously a Star Wars movie, but the only time I was reminded I'm still in the Star Wars universe was particularly at the end with the arrival of the X-Wing. Oh yeah, this is iconography. These are symbols of the Star Wars that you are familiar with. We haven't seen X-Wings. But this is not, it's a movie. It's just a movie. All right, now, here is something massive, which I don't think a lot of people are talking about yet. It's not a huge thing, but it is a huge thing, which I was absolutely jaw-dropped at, which was right at the beginning, which is this movie has titles, like opening titles, like classic proper movies had and should have, and this movie has it. Like, you know, produced by, written by, sound design by, associate producer, directed by, this has got to be the first Star Wars material I can think of that has, or at least a movie that has opening titles. And then I was even thinking to myself, what even movie these days has opening titles? So I was actually applauding. I was like, well, this is good. This is all right. I mean, and because all of these technicians, artists, producers, these people who have to weave all these elements together, they are being credited. They're not being hidden at the end in credits. So that was a surprise, and I can't think of any other Star Wars movie that has credits like that, or for that matter, a lot of current pop culture films that have gone out of their way to do that. So, and because I got reminded it was a Star Wars movie towards the end, that's why I'm calling this one a post-Star Wars movie, because Star Wars movies are not meant to be an event, and this is just a stepping stone now into, it's not in streaming where you're going to be seeing a new major bit of Star Wars. You're going to have to fork out your $20 and go to the cinema and watch it there. Keep cinemas alive. We actually got some physical hard cash out of you. Right, give it to us. Yeah, so, you know. The whole hut thing was good. I like seeing that planet world that they kind of, well, I don't know if it was their planet world, but it was the next best thing. I don't know. Like those hovels and those huts. Ugh, it's ugly, horrible. The huts are really well portrayed. There were way too many monsters and aliens and fight. We've seen it all before too, but this is just sort of heightened for cinema. I'm glad Pedro Pascal just got dunked into water for his appearance in the film. Just like, he got thrown in there. But just someone enjoyed pushing the button for splashing water on him that day. What else? Oh, the actor who played, I think it's, the main Hutt, wrestler Hutt, Rotter, is it Rotter? I don't know. This is the baby, right, from the Clone Wars animated film. Am I wrong in thinking that, anybody? Am I wrong? And anyway, so thank God he's a good guy in the end. But the actor playing him is so monotonous. And again, we've seen, obviously, the writers have said, what story can we pull? Well, let's do the one and he's out of his down on his luck boxer, and now they're going to make a fortune on him. Great. That's when, again, you're reminded this is a kids' movie. This is a episode thrown up on the big screen. But it was still, look, I enjoyed it for its just heightenedness and all of that, and some silly moments and ridiculous moments. And I didn't feel that they overused Grogu's force ability too much, which was good. And I enjoyed the sort of Grogu's first adventure. And the whole weird bit where he nursed him, I thought it was weird that he kept the helmet on during the convalescence period. Grogu did a lot to sort of try and reach up and grow up a lot. And despite the babyism and he can't talk business, Grogu is very intelligent. Clearly is highly intelligent as well, in order to stop particular vehicles and lift them up. And I'm glad they didn't underuse it. And I feel like they're just banking on, they're going to have a sequel to this or build it into a bigger sort of long arc of Star Wars films. But this is not a Star Wars movie. So for all of those saying, where's the hype? What's going? Well, because this is a post Star Wars movie. Like this is not Star Wars. This is, but also it isn't. But I don't think you're just going to go and have a good time. That's it. And let's hope if they do a sequel that they've used the potential and give us, because I stirred a little bit when old Grogu was tending to his old pa. But why was the helmet left on in that sort of hovel thing that was made to help, keep him sheltered and, I don't know, free from the bugs and whatever. The bugs look like the bugs from the insects from Temple of Doom. That's what I think. I got reminded of that as a kid. I saw that movie as a kid and remember that bug scene very well. Willie Scott, and I think Indy goes through briefly, doesn't he? So look, I think it's not bad, it's not great, and it's not also great too because there is nothing memorable about it. I was waiting for a great sweet cameo, like, oh, look at it! Nothing. I thought, come on. At best, you're going to get Dave Filoni giving you a bit of an off-the-side nod. Great. And a few other character moments, just beats, well, not beats, but flash of it. This is all the same, but nothing has moved on in the Star Wars universe. Nothing is moved on. It was like this decision to make this a movie was made a long time ago, and now you're just seeing the end result. It's all been done very slowly too, because the economics of it. That's how bad Disney are hurting economically. And they need to put something back into the cinema and get some hard, stone cold cash rolling in. So what do you think of that? And they're going to give a crowd pleaser. And that's what this movie is just a good old crowd pleaser. I enjoyed it. It'll last a few weeks in theaters probably, and we'll all forget about it. But I predict you will not see any major things on Disney Plus going forward. Animated series, perhaps. But everything else, I'm just wondering, I don't know. Is there anything in production? Is anything coming up on their slate? I don't think so. But if you know better than me, put it in the chat. So I give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It's not the greatest movie of all time. It's not a movie in the traditional sense. It's a post-Star Wars movie. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.